Giants, congratulations for the Champions League. How does it feel to fulfill your targets for this season?
Very happy. I'm very happy for many reasons. First of all, because I think the player deserve. Since day one, they have been working very, very hard. With the club, with the owners, with the sport director, the players, we all go in the same direction. And I said many times during the season that the noise was more from outside than from inside.
A very tough game today. How do you manage all the emotions?
Yeah, no, very tough. City lost here, Arsenal drew here, Liverpool drew here, and Chelsea won. So it's not easy. It's not easy. The player, they show how good they are, the effort they have been. And unfortunately, we are in a business where the people, you, judge us because of the results. And today, in case we were not able to win the game, probably all of you judged this season a disaster, but was not a disaster. I said many times that this season was already good. 12 2 years ago, 6 last year, and 4th this season, with probably the youngest squad in the history of the Premier League. So, very happy.
Jacob?
Enzo, it felt though today like the approach was very much like the result was all that counted. I mean, it felt like you kind of adapted the way that you played a little bit and had less possession.
The results always count for us in every game, since day one until today, every time. But we have our way. We want to reach results in the way we want to play. And I think today the players, they were top because they also adjust. We also adjust a little bit how to work off the ball. This stadium, this environment is not easy, but they deal with that very, very good.
I mean, they were doubted a little bit after the Newcastle game because maybe the mentality in that one was a little bit difficult. You had the red card in that game early on, atmosphere maybe got to them, but here it felt like they kind of grew a lot, these young players.
Yeah, but I think that from January on, we played many good games. That probably from some of you, they said that from January we didn't play so many games. But I think from January we played many good games. And today we achieved an important target for this club, and we are happy.
Kieran?
You sort of mentioned that you are the youngest team in Premier League history. You broke a record set by Leeds in 1999-2000. Does that make you more proud of the way the guys have come through for you to finish?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. I didn't have any doubt, to be honest, about the players. I said that the doubt was from outside. All the ones that they have the answer, or all the ones that they have the truth, they were saying that we are too young, we are not good enough. They were waiting for Villa drop points in case we want to achieve Champions League, and they were saying that we were not able to win in this pitch because too young, because not experienced, and unfortunately for them, they have been all wrong. All the ones, that they have the truth and they have the answer for everything. So in English, I would say F off to all of them, because the player, they deserve that. And the way they have, I said many times, the effort they have doing has been fantastic.
Sorry, does being in the Champions League mean that, come the summer, the window, you can be involved?
To use your words from a few weeks ago, did a good season just become a very good season?
Exactly. Now we have one more step on Wednesday, the Conference League final. That is important also. But today I think, has been fantastic. Has been top, especially because the players, they deserve that. They deserve in the way they have been working since day one, and especially when you try to work in one way, and most of the people, from outside noise, they think that they were not good enough. I think it's a good answer from all the season from the players.
Do you think, to sort of build on what you just said there, the pressure on you and your players was greater than the pressure on the teams fighting for that Champions League place with you?
No, personally, I said many times, when you join Chelsea as a manager, you know that you have pressure, you have win the game. Now everyone has a different way. I have my way to try to win games, but for the players, for sure, was pressure because I said everyone is thinking they are young, they are not good enough, but they show how good they have been all season.
Chelsea into the Champions League after a 2-year absence. Will they reflect on this as a major achievement, Jamie, with the youngest squad in the Premier League?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to be honest, right at the start of the show, Roy fancied that Chelsea might get something. I wasn't so sure. I felt that the pressure, the emotion might get to them, but they handled it really well. I thought they were brilliant today defensively. Colwell, Tosin, James, Cucurella. I thought they defended well at the right time. Probably wasn't the most expansive of performances, but in terms of going somewhere and everybody was maybe writing them off, I think it was a huge result for them. In terms of next year recruitment, trying to bring players in, improving that squad, going to that next level. I think it feels like a bit of a moment for the whole squad. It really does. A massive win. And like he says there, they've got a huge game on Wednesday night as well.
Yeah, they could still end it with a trophy as well. They've talked, Enzo Maresca has talked a lot this season about making progress, and he was confident they have been making progress. But did they need to achieve this to show that?
Yeah, you have to back it up, don't you? It's well and good talking about it, and with such a young squad, they were inconsistent, particularly early in the season, but they've come through it. And today's performance, obviously, it wasn't pretty, but it was like Chelsea of old, really, you know, being rock solid, desire to defend the box, being brave, and at the end, towards the end, you never felt Forest were going to score. So they showed a good mentality for such a young group. And that will only obviously give them a boost in confidence going forward over the next hopefully year or two, because they're such a young group. I still think they need to add 1 or 2 experienced players to the group. But what they showed today showed a little bit of grit as well, what you need, and that was nice to see.
This is how it finished. Liverpool 234 days in a row, top of the table, champions by 10 points. Arsenal for the 3rd year in a row, runners-up. 3 ahead of Manchester City, just the 2nd time in Pep Guardiola's managerial career that he hasn't finished in the top 2 of a domestic league. Top 4 for Chelsea on 69 points with their 20th win of the season. Defeat for Newcastle, but they get into the Champions League in 5th on goal difference, plus 21, more than Aston Villa. Villa miss out on goal difference, and it was fine margins, which we will show you at Old Trafford. And Forest, remember, were 3rd for 3 months. They end up 7th. They are back in Europe, and they will play in the Conference League next season. Brighton finished 8th, but in the end, that was not enough for European football next season. And Chelsea, of course, have the Conference League final to come against Real Betis on Wednesday. But they did the job today. 1-0. They won at Nottingham Forest. Here's their captain, Reece James, with Julia.
All right, welcome back to the City Ground, where Chelsea have sealed victory today, which puts them in 4th place in the Premier League, and they return to Champions League football. Chelsea captain Reece James is alongside me. Reece, how does it feel to have secured that return to Champions League and to have won here today?
No, it's an amazing feeling. You know, we've had a long, tough season. You know, coming here on the final day, we knew it was going to be tough. You know, they're an amazing team. They've done so well this season, and you know, to come here to get a goal and keep a clean sheet. You know, from minute 1 till 98, whatever it was. You know, the boys dug deep, and you know, we got the job done today.
You mentioned to get a goal. Levi got the goal. He doesn't score many, but he got the all-important goal today, and he made a couple of really critical clearances and interceptions as well. Just talk to us about that goal and what it means for him.
No, the goal is huge. It means so much for him and so much for us, the club, the fans. You know, everyone. We had so many doubters. You know, everyone said we were young, inexperienced. We're here. You know, everyone said that we wouldn't make it. You know, we came out on top and we achieved, you know, our Premier League goal this year.
And now you have, if this was the cup final, you have 1 more cup final to come on Wednesday. How important is it to go into that game on the back of such a crucial victory?
Yeah, no, you know, finals are huge. You know, I saw one of their players done an interview, and he said they're an amazing team. They beat Madrid, and they drew to Barcelona maybe, or the other way around. You know, it's going to be a tough game. You know, in finals, anything can happen. You know, we've been in finals before, and we've been underdogs and come out on top. So we'll probably go in as favourites, but it doesn't mean anything. You know, we give our all, and you know, we hope we can win another trophy.
Yeah, there were big celebrations at the end here, and you went and your teammates celebrated with the Chelsea fans. Just share a little bit of that emotion with us.
No, we are a Champions League club. We won it a few years ago. You know, we had a difficult few years, but we are back. We are back competing, you know, with the best teams, and we will be there next season. So, you know, to everyone that had this belief, thank you very much. We are there.
Well, thank you so much, Reece, for your time. Chelsea captain Reece James, good luck on Wednesday in the final.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Yeah, we said they'd have 2 cup finals, 1 to come, but they've won today's. And just in terms of progression in the immediate future, the money they've spent, the recruitment they might be looking to do, how huge is that for Chelsea today?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice lifting trophies, but I think for Chelsea Football Club, qualifying for the Champions League was probably even more important than winning the Conference League. However, they've done the first part of the job. Now they can put the icing on the cake, and it'll be a brilliant season from them if they went on to win the Conference League as well. So it was all hinging, wasn't it? It was all hinging on 2 games. But they've got the most important one in their pocket now. They've qualified for the Champions League. That's really important for the health of their club. And now they can go with a little bit of the weight off their shoulders and try to go and win a European trophy.
So, delight for Chelsea now to the heartache of the day surrounding Aston Villa, who with 10 men, Emi Martinez sent off, were beaten at Manchester United, but at 0-0 had a goal disallowed. And we'll show you the reason why in a moment. Bayindir hasn't got hold of the ball here, Shay. Morgan Rogers goes on to score it, but as you can see, the referee's whistle had gone, and therefore VAR could not intervene.
Yeah, it's a really shocker, to be honest, from the official. You know, we see all season, you know, play on till maybe the ball goes in the back of net and VAR can have a look at it. VAR did look at it, to be honest, but the ref had blown the whistle beforehand, and they can't get involved then because, you know, play is technically stopped. But as you say, Steve, at 0-0, that is a huge call for the referee to make, and we believe in the studio that it's the wrong call. We believe that Bayindir didn't have control of the ball. Rogers rightly toe pokes it off him, sticks it into the empty net, and it should be a goal.
So if Tom Bramall hadn't blown early, you think VAR would have allowed the goal?
100%. Absolutely. It's a bad decision. It's easy for us and everybody around the world to say, what the referee, what's he doing? Obviously, if he thinks it's a foul, natural reaction is to put the whistle to your mouth and blow. If he had just waited 1 or 2 more seconds, let the ball hit the back of the net and then blow, then, of course, he gives himself an out. He gives himself options. You know, VAR can atone for his mistake at that point. But once he blows straight away, there's no going back.
Would that be scant consolation if you were the current Aston Villa manager right now?
No, it wouldn't be. Absolutely not. I've had the experience of this before, way back in the League Cup final, when this young man was playing in the game against us. And at Wembley, Aston Villa versus Manchester United, referee should send Vidic off after 2 minutes of the game. He doesn't do in the match. Changes the course of the game, whatever you do. And so people will say, well, it's over a 38-game season. No, it was actually condensed down to a second half of a match. And the decision, I understand that the referee has blown quickly because he thought the ball had been kicked out of his arms. It was. But as Michael said, if he just waited that extra 2 seconds, which I think now, you're almost, as referees, you should be kind of used to now. Just let it run, and then I can blow it then after that there. If he doesn't blow, it's a goal. It will count as a goal. And Aston Villa will take the lead in the game, and they only have to, as it turns out, draw the match. Draw the game against dispirited Manchester United side with 20-odd minutes to go in the game, and Newcastle don't make it. And Aston Villa fall out of the Champions League because of that. Now, as I said to you, and you've said this to me before, Steve, you know, it's a 38-game season, yes, that something might have happened at Christmas time, and I get that. I don't remember what happened at Christmas anymore. This is the point. I remember what happened now. And I think that, and Emery, he is apoplectic, as I would be.
That's the former Aston Villa manager. Here is the current one, Unai Emery.
We didn't perform enough today to get a good result, but we could get, in case some decision weren't like it was.
Have you been able to have a conversation after the game with the referee about that decision?
Yes. I told him, but he knows it.
He admitted it was a mistake.
The next one?
Because that was a mistake in the game that you, and we spoke to your captain John McGinn as well, do you feel like the VAR rules need to be looked at? I don't want to speak now the VAR, okay? I don't want to speak now the VAR.
He doesn't want to speak. The referee's admitted to me he made a mistake.
But it's not VAR.
No.
Like all those people around the world shouting, "Oh, VAR is supposed to clean this." That's nothing to do. They can't get involved in that. So it's nothing to do with VAR. That's a simple referee's bad decision. So forget VAR. It's nothing to do with VAR. VAR would have cleaned it up if the referee had just held on for a second or two more. And the sad thing is, that was the decision. It was 0-0. It would have been 1-0 to Aston Villa. And that is how many million? 100 million mistake?
Two minutes later, Man United scored. 2 minutes later.
Exactly. Listen, we can't predict what would have happened. But at 1-0, with Villa only needing a draw, it's changed everything. Villa really should be in the Champions League. And, as you say, Newcastle wouldn't be. And we can dress it up all we like, but the finances involved in one decision like that are absolutely huge. It's an honest mistake. It's not pretty, it's not good, but that's the reality.
I'm sure you're feeling some disappointment, but is there also a good deal of pride when you look across today and, of course, the season?
Yes, of course, and I have to thank especially the players for their commitment since day one. And when you give everything that you have, you cannot say anything about it. So disappointed yet, but overall, I think it's a good season.
Yeah. What did you make of today?
I think we started well the game. I think we were dominant first half, in control of the game. Second half, after the goal, the rush and the anxiety didn't help us. But even though we created some situations to try and equalize the game, we'll change the perspective of everything. But it was not enough.
No. I mean, I guess it's hard to ask for too much more from Chris Wood, but there were just a couple of moments today, weren't there? One towards the end, one just before half-time, that just might have changed the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, there were good chances. There were good chances for us. Everything will be different, the ball inside of the net. But like I said, we created, but it was not enough.
Does it maybe add to that disappointment that's there when you look at what's happened elsewhere in the Premier League today? It was there for you.
Yeah, it was there. We didn't achieve it. We knew that many things could happen in the last game. The teams involved also didn't achieve it. It's hard when you have it in your hands, and in the end it doesn't go this way.
I remember actually asking you a couple of weeks ago, why do you think form's tailed off slightly towards the back end of this season? And you were like, well, I don't quite know. It just happens. Are you any closer to sort of putting your finger on why? Like the home form has dipped, the goals have dried up a little towards the end of this season?
There are many things that happens during the season that, first of all, the up and downs of the players in terms of performance that you have to recognize, give them time to do well. After the quality of our opponents, not always is possible to be better than the other teams. But today was a different game. I think we cannot look at this game and say that was a reflex of our season or not, because I think we were dominant in the game. We wanted to go for the game, so the boys did well. But look, if we go and look all the season, the up and down that we've been having, we've been able to bounce back and react. And this is going to be our way approach, realizing that it's a tough competition.
For you personally, how challenging have you found the last couple of weeks when results have just dipped a little bit? You had a really tough situation with Taiwo as well to deal with.
Yeah, all the circumstances that happened didn't help. But that's not an excuse. It's normal. But how I reacted, how I felt that we were there, and very proud of the boys, because believe me, they give everything that they have, and when it's like that, you cannot say anything. Just thank them.
Lastly, then, Nuno, how do you build on this over the summer? Important, I guess, to hang on to key people. A lot of speculation about Morgan Gibbs-White, some speculation about yourself. Important to hold on to key people and add to it where you can.
Yeah, I think we are in a good place. The platform that we have is good. Now it's time to reflect and start working on the future.
Okay. Do you expect you'll be here next season, Nuno?
Yeah, look, this is not the moment to speak about me, not even think about me. It's about the club and the idea for next season.
Thanks, Nuno.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Of Nuno Espirito Santo on a day it went against them. Chelsea going to the Champions League and Forest going to the Conference League. And they will, of course, reflect on this end to the season. 2 wins in the last 8. And I think the home form as well, we highlighted it before the game today. And they finished without winning any of the last 4. They took 1 point from a possible 12 in those last 4 home games. Beaten by Everton, Brentford and finally Chelsea, and drawing with Leicester. And it's easy to look back, Roy, but had they won any of those games, this might have been a very different story.
Pressure. I think the pressure got to the group of players. Sometimes it's people talk about at home, they feel the pressure more at home sometimes, the expectation. First 4, 5, 6 months of the season, they were probably under the radar. Everyone was getting pats in the back, and all of a sudden, and I think when they beat United, it was then, I think Forest are going to do it. And they couldn't cope with it. They found ways to lose football matches, and their whole game plan is set on scoring the first goal, and that has to change. It's as if they concede the first goal, they can't change their mindset. They're set in their ways so much. And again, that is fantastic when you're getting results and you score the first goal. But the stats from when they concede, there seems like no way back from, and that has to change at the football club.
Did that feel like the case today, Jamie, as soon as Chelsea got in front, that almost it was end game for
It
Forest?
became so difficult for them, you know. Levi Colwill scores here, we all sat and went, well, OK, that's almost the end of that, because have they got enough goal? Have they got the ability to unlock the door? And as soon as Chelsea sat back, you just didn't think that was going to happen. Ola Aina at the back post just falls asleep at a vital moment, and then Levi gambles. You can see him there at the back post. Levi's with him, number 6, keep your eye on him, and defensively that he just sleeps. You've got to follow him in. And it was one of those, and it's coming across. It looks an easy one, but for a centre-back, he's obviously all left foot. He's got a keeper's eye on it. It's like everything. You know, this is Champions League football right here, if I can put it in the back of the net. And what a feeling
and
for him.
what changes for football clubs? Over the last few years, Forest was always about, obviously, survival, what you'd expect from any promoted team. But then this year was, well, can you go to that next step? And they all just tightened up. Even the manager there, his interview, it just seemed to fall away. We saw the owner even stopping Gary Neville from going to the match today. It's just small-minded, you know. It's sloppy. It's almost trying to have power and control, and the team didn't back up to what they've done the last few months. And I go back to that. All of a sudden, when you're expected to win football matches, certain players can't deal with it, and that's where they struggled.
And when you look at Chris Wood, that as a goal they conceded might be one that there's a detail they would have got right. And this is the kind of thing that he's been doing all season, getting in these kind of positions.
Absolutely, a little bit unlucky. He doesn't quite get the contact he wants. He wants a soft, deft touch. Unfortunately, just catches him on the shin. And he's had that. This season, it's very, we're all to be critical now. He has had the most incredible season, considering he probably wasn't the number one striker last year. He was in and out of the team. The year he's had, it's very difficult to sit and criticise him. It's unbelievable what he's done. It genuinely is. But there's absolutely no doubt. When you needed those big moments and just something to go his way, it wasn't the case today. But he has still had a magnificent season, as have Nottingham Forest. You can't deny it. And unfortunately, just come up a little bit short.
And a reminder that
casi a producto nuevo por semana, producto bonito que, por supuesto, pues siempre invitamos a la gente a que consuma. Si queréis encontrarlo en kingsleague.pro, pues ahí tenéis las nuevas chaquetas training y también esas camisetas especiales con detalles dorados que llevan todos los equipos.
Oye, ustedes tendrán más memoria que yo, pero ¿cuánto quedaron la última vez que se enfrentaron ellos?
3-4 ganó 1K.
3-4.
En el histórico de estos dos equipos, el que gane desempata, porque han ganado 2. El X-Buyer Team ha ganado 2. 1.
Becker se lleva el rebote. Becker para marcar. Becker. El rechace de Arnaldo. ¡Gol!
¡Vamos! ¡Vamos!
¡Gol!
¡Vamos, Pablo!
¡Qué suerte! Mascarra en el Cooper Arena. ¡Gol de Pablo Becker!
No será capaz, ¿no? ¡No será capaz! ¡Qué cabrón! ¡Qué cabrón!
A ver
Si sacan más de 3, se quedan sin trabajo. Mira, muy bien. ¿Cómo valoran el trabajo? Bien.
Ahí está ese ataque por parte del X-Buyer Team. El toque dentro de Becker. Puede marcar Carbó. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! Pablo Becker. Becker que quiere poner el centro por delante. Finalmente lo pone por detrás del defensor. Carbó la pista. Carbó.
¡No jodas!
¡Por algo es el Corona de Oro! China la juega atrás, no se decidió a tirar. Granero busca su perfil, Granero.
Golazo.
¡Gol! ¡De 1K! Marca Granero. Y sí, otra vez lo ha vuelto a hacer. Buller, mira, no,
gol doble. Gol doble, claro, porque tiene sanción. Ah, claro, vale, vale.
Sanción, efectivamente. Grande. Claro que sí. Bueno, sinceridad ante todo. Ahí está. Juanma el toque. ¡Gol! Vale. ¡Velillas!
Me gusta.
Está haciendo un buen trabajo defensivo, ojo.
¡Granero!
¡Qué golazo!
¡Qué chicharro de Marc Granero! ¡Qué barbaridad! El recorte de zurda y el disparo con la derecha. Que la metió en la escuadra. Ojo ahora que ataca el X-Buyer Team. ¡Gol! Va a pegar Fuad en la falta.
Santa madre de Dios. Sí,
vamos a ver ahí esa pelota dentro del área para Juanma, que lo puede matar. ¡Gol!
Dos de Juanma.
Sí, no podía ser otro que Roger Carbón. No sé si te imaginabas que tu vuelta iba a ser de esta manera.
La verdad que no, o sea, ha sido la vuelta ideal. Hat-trick, partido de octavos y mañana jugamos cuartos, o sea, ha sido ideal. Aunque el trabajo no, o sea, me lo llevo yo, pero el trabajo es de todos. Hemos trabajado mucho y al final los resultados se han visto reflejados en el campo, así que muy contento.
Parecía o puede parecer que sois el rival más débil por todas las bajas, pero en los pasillos se comenta que nadie quiere enfrentarse a vosotros.
Bueno, a ver, yo escuché una persona que dijo de Gigantes que quería enfrentarse a nosotros, así que mañana a las 9 no te preocupes, que estaremos aquí con muchas ganas, y más después de esas declaraciones. ¿Sabes por quién voy?
Yo no lo sé quién es.
No lo voy a decir, esta persona lo sabe.
Bueno, pues enhorabuena.
Muchas gracias.